Audio.
Okay. Big Mama's house. Big Mama's house. Welcome to Big Mama's house. Big Mama's house. Yeah. Big Mama's house. Welcome to Big Mama's house. Big Mama's house. Yeah.
Welcome back to Big Mama's house, y'all. I am here on this beautiful day with the fam minus Tiger because, he doesn't really live here and he's working, or actually he worked last night, so he's sleeping. But the rest of us are here, me and Papa and Mallow and Lizard, and Molly is at my knee, really wanting to come up here and be with us, but she causes chaos, so that's not a good idea. So I don't know how everyone else has been. It's been finally a little bit drier here in the Midwest. It's been very, very wet.
Yes.
Flash flood warnings, all kinds of stuff. I know we
have also, destroyed trees.
Yes, we had some couple of more serious storms where a lot of the trees and limbs came down. I know we talked about.
They're still picking up trees along the sides of the roads by people's yards.
I know we had talked before about how the night that storm happened, Mallow was trying to get home and she had to basically go all the way around town just to get home because there's so many trees down on the way, right, Mallow?
Main route that I go home, it's straight shot for my work. There was a tree in the way. So I take a little, shortcut by the school. There's another tree in my way. There's a tree down by the hospital. I go to the, main, it's not really a highway, but it's highway-like through the main town.
Main Street.
And, Main Street. Was there a tree? No, there was a fallen lamppost with a cop just standing there with his hands on the hips. What? I don't think I get paid enough for this.
He probably was thinking that at 1 o'clock in the morning.
You're who do I call for this? Do I call the electric company? Do I call whoever? If it's the telephone pole?
So, and there also was a red light down there in front of Walmart too, in the middle of the road.
Yes.
Didn't you have that's the one I was talking about. Didn't you have a call from work that basically someone said that something blew up for your guys' company line? They called you guys for it. An RV took down a low-hanging line and just demolished half the town's ability to get Wi-Fi.
Oh my goodness.
And that's Spectrum's fault.
And so she gets a call from a cop, right? Yeah, it was an operator. He didn't give me his name. He was operator 123, and I'm like, boss, what do I do? I don't. Cops called me. I'm innocent. I promise. Well, if this was an operator, it wasn't a cop. It was just, a
911 operator?
Yeah.
They didn't show up at your workplace.
Well, they were trying to just notify you guys that your stuff was down so that you could send repair people. That's
probably.
And you were the lucky person to get that call.
I was trying to get him over to tech, but then he was he hung up right as I got a tech person. So I'm like, okay, so the customer just he wasn't really a customer. He hung up already, but he said that there's lines down here that caused an accident. This is not my department. So, and she's like, I don't think this is me either. And I'm like, this is a higher-ups problem. And she was like, you know what? This is a higher-ups problem. I'll send this up.
I love that.
Yeah.
Pass the buck. It's not my problem. I don't know what to do. It's somebody else.
For tech support, and text can only be scheduled out. So something that would be an immediate emergency like that, someone called 24-hour service. I think it's called an ETD. Yeah, that requires a supervisor because even then you can only send one tech out, and that would probably require at least two. At least two.
Yeah.
Online. At least two.
Crazy. So, okay, on the subject
all those storms now
of weather, okay, we had talked before that about the Maui wildfires and how sad and just devastating it is. But thankfully,
they're actually better now.
I think it was a banyan tree there that we were talking about at the wharf that Lizard liked to climb. We have lots of pictures of them in it. And hi, Matilda. Were you harassing Whiskers
again? Harassing the old lady. She was slugging in front of the old lady, and the old lady did not appreciate it. So
I heard a hiss, which is unusual.
That's why.
But long story short, the banyan tree is actually coming back to life again. It's actually growing buds and everything.
And I think that's like they took that as a sign of
It's
hope
sign of
for
hope,
Maui. And
yeah.
the other side of the island is open.
Yep.
They was the governor said that they had hoped to bring in more tourism to help with the repairs and all that.
Yeah, not. I mean, they didn't want tourists there now. They want to wait till they have a little bit more cleanup.
Yeah.
The next maybe month or so. But then yes, they say Maui will be open again for tourists, and that you should go. If you're planning on going, you should go.
Absolutely.
I wonder if they'll have something similar to Habitat for Humanity, which is like, I know there's something on the mainland,
Yeah.
but I'm not sure it's something like it in Maui or Hawaii or anything like that. Maybe they'll like try to figure something out to do
Maybe
that
somebody from the mainland will go.
Well,
Yeah.
being from, they are part of the United States, I'm sure
The
FEMA
Red
has
Cross is there.
responded.
Mhm.
They put up temporary shelters so that people aren't, just homeless. But
Well-
like Lizard had talked before about the Hawaiian people being, staying with family and things.
Yeah.
Well, some of the resorts actually are opening up their the rooms free, all right, to some of the locals there to live there until everything gets built up.
Well,
Yeah.
see, that's a community.
Now,
Okay.
it's locals. That's why they don't want no tourism there right now.
Yeah,
they
because
don't
they're
want
full of the
Yes.
people who actually need it.
The local.
That's awesome,
local
though. I
citizens.
mean, that is awesome. Good on them. And I wish I knew the name of whoever was doing that so we could give them
I
a
think
shout
it's
out.
multiple ones. I don't
But-
know exactly what the names either.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, not all Maui was destroyed.
So the fire is out.
Yes.
And
last I heard was contained. Yes.
but
Lots of lives lost.
yes,
Missing.
99.
As of 2 days ago, I actually follow a TikTok that's doing Lahaina fire updates from. This is a fire person I believe who lives on the island.
Yeah.
And they've done like interviews with people who with the fire, like an 88-year-old woman and her daughter had to jump into the ocean off of like a seawall to escape from the fire.
Oh my
And they're
goodness.
doing like updates, and as of 2 days ago, it was 99 people dead.
Oh,
And that 88-year-old though, and then she survived.
She did survive.
Yeah.
Her and her daughter are alive.
crazy.
But
That's good news. That 88-year-old. I couldn't survive it, and I'm 47. I could not survive jumping in that ocean.
You can't swim.
Well, I can't swim.
I can't swim.
enough. It's in the ocean.
I can't so well. I'd also be like,
It's kind of remarkable to think of an 80-year-old.
well, she
That's able
lived on
to fight against
She
the
probably
ocean.
lived on the island and went swimming. Like,
You got knocked over by the ocean. The ocean won.
I don't swim though.
And she was on her knees. To be honest.
Here's the thing, it's salt water. So if you lay on your back and float, which these two cannot do.
But I think so. You first have to swim away from the seawall because the ocean will
Well, yeah.
push you into it.
Yes. All right, but okay, now that's awesome news for Maui. Okay, things are, there's things are slowly hopefully getting cleaned up, and the fire out, and the worst of the.
Well, now they're doing like why it went so badly though.
True, yes, and you have a little information about that, right, Liz?
Yeah,
Siren.
you can actually look up this news interview and everything where like the Maui I guess they're like the people who are in charge of disasters.
Emergency response.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So they were actually asked by a reporter, why didn't you set off the sirens? Why did you and they asked him straight up, did you
And you're talking about the tsunami sirens.
yeah, these are the sirens that they do for like tsunamis happening. And they asked him, do you regret not doing the sirens? And he said no. And the reporter actually kept going on about how like children could have been saved, parents could have been saved. And the reporter actually had to be shut down, be like, shut up, do you want him to answer or not?
Right.
You keep talking.
Obviously, it was personal.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they said, like, no, because the tsunami sirens are made for tsunamis. And people, when they hear the sirens, or especially if people who live on the islands, know to go inland.
Closer to the water.
And even if they could see the flames, the whole point is that if they heard the tsunami sirens, they wouldn't have assumed it was for the fire. They would assume it was for a tsunami and a fire, because I think the fire was caused by a storm anyway.
It was a hurricane, actually.
Yeah. So they would have gone toward the fire, assuming that a tsunami was going to come and basically put out the flames.
Right.
Hurricane Dora.
Because the thing about it is like tsunamis, like again, it's devastation. Like they're gonna go on land.
You have to get as far inland as possible.
They wouldn't have thought to go toward the water, especially since like there wasn't a good way for them to actually get out the information about the fire. being there
Which
either
obviously
until it was right there.
needs to change.
But again, the whole thing about like there was tornadoes there, which has never happened before. I've told Mama knows about this, about when me and Auntie
420.
420 we were in Maui. We had a cab driver and we were talking to him, and we actually brought up tornadoes, and he had never heard of it. Full time living on Maui his whole life, never heard of tornado. We had to explain to him what it was. And he was like, "Wow, that sounds."
We were like, haven't you ever seen Twister or The Wizard of Oz?
Yeah, especially Wizard of Oz, right?
But again, like something like they'd never heard of before, so they weren't prepared for tornadoes. They weren't prepared for wildfires.
But still, I mean,
But now they'll probably have it's something they'll have to like plan for going forward, but not something they prepared for
think
now.
about it. Okay, in the Midwest, we have tornado sirens. They get tested every week. We're
Monday.
used to hearing the sound.
Yeah.
We know that if it goes off anytime except for testing time, that there's a tornado. We need to figure out what the heck's going on and get safe. But let's just say there was a wildfire here. We would have there's no siren for that.
Yeah, there's no special siren for that. No, I mean, they'd probably have to be on like their speaker, like saying actually.
Yeah, because there are speakers attached
Yes.
to the sirens.
Yes.
I wonder if they could they actually send out an alert for that?
Yes, see, most towns now have some sort of text alert system, like if there's emergency
I'm not sure.
weather.
What though?
I don't see, but that's something they could definitely look into. Because even in a small town where we live here in the Midwest, we have that. If you go on the town website and it sends you any emergencies, yeah.
With the text alerts, is it based on like what your zip code is? Like Yeah, the it's first three based on- numbers of your phone number?
Based off your area code, yeah. So they could definitely do that for Hawaii, I believe.
I don't know if you can do it like nationwide. This is through the city of where we live.
Okay,
Like
but
the text alerts, it's based on the first three numbers of your phone number, because that's your
Where you
area
live.
code.
You
right?
can go on any town website that has it and sign up for it. You don't have to live there.
well,
All right, then why don't they do that with Hawaii?
because they probably don't have it. Because again, like there's not really any big weather that happens that is like
Except for hurricanes,
hurricanes or
typhoons.
yeah, rain, water.
Yeah.
But that's why they weren't prepared for the wildfire.
They're used to the wind. They're not used to fire.
Well, the wind was actually the big culprit in that.
That's what spread it.
I
Yeah.
do want to put this out. There isn't any nationwide alerts, but there is going to be nationwide text alerts and everything going off October 4th. If there's some kind of big weather thing that's happening, it's going to be October 11th, where everyone's phones are going to be going off
Why?
because they're going to have to test out the nationwide alert system.
Oh.
That's
I
why.
don't see why that would be a big deal. Like we all get Amber Alerts. I'm assuming Maui Hawaii is the United States. They have that.
Test, and they want everybody to know it's a test. That's not really real.
Yeah,
Right.
because again, like if there's anything huge happening that affects again, like if there was a huge wildfire that's going across like the whole part of the United States other than California, because California always gets wildfires.
Mm-hmm.
They need to make sure it's gonna work. If it doesn't work, then that's oh crap when they do need it.
The California has all kinds of stuff over there, don't they?
Well, yeah, it's the yearly rain cycle there. They have the dry season, which then they get the wildfires, and then they get the heavy
Mudslides.
rains, which causes the mudslides. So, I mean, I know, like, I've heard stories of people who have lived in that area who just every time it happens, their house keeps getting washed away by mudslides, and they just rebuild in the same spot because they love it. And I'm like, y'all are nuts.
I do want to
Nuts.
add on to that because I did see something about this on different social media. If you have a device or devices that someone around you or someone you know doesn't want anyone else knowing about, even if you turn it off about that alert, the moment you turn it back on, that alert is going to go off.
What the hell does that got to do with anything? What are you talking about?
Have you never heard of people being abused or having to, planning their escape?
Okay. But why would they turn that phone on when the abuser was around?
But no, they might not. They might have turned if you turn it off till the alert
So
doesn't
no
go
matter
off.
what you do with your phone, it's going to turn.
I think even if you turn your volume down, the alert's going to go off anyway. I think that's the whole point of it. It's gonna your phone is going to go off no matter if you have the volume down all the way. Huh.
I don't think that's possible because even with like Amber Alerts, if your phone's muted, it doesn't make a sound.
It still makes sense. But this is a nationwide federal government type alert.
So is the Amber Alert.
No, that's probably a state area thing. They don't get any Amber Alerts for like Illinois. Yeah, just the other day there was a bunch of phones going off at work for an Amber Alert for what was it, a black sedan or something like that.
Yeah, I got those.
And then I didn't get any, but like a bunch of people went off while on call, and it was hilarious.
Yeah, because you're not supposed to have your phones on the floor, are you?
That doesn't stop us.
Rebels.
And yeah, the
So-
whole point of that is like be safe. That's gonna happen. Take care of yourself.
Gotcha. Thank you, Lizard. Now, Canada has not been so fortunate.
No.
Their wildfire is not contained yet, is
And it's
it?
still spreading. Yeah, Yellowknife is getting it hard.
You said they were getting evacuated, right?
Yesterday. Yes.
What is-
August. What's today's date? August 17th, 18th.
18th.
August 17th, as of yesterday.
It says the entire capital city of Canada's Northwest Territories has been ordered to evacuate as hundreds of wildfires scorch the region.
Yeah.
Because apparently there was like a wind has pushed the wildfires into a direction closer to the actual town where people live.
Right.
In the northern part of our country is actually getting more smoke. So
And the air quality.
Yeah.
You heard from Eric in a while. I've not heard from Deadland in a while.
Okay, little friends. So,
Deadland, if you hear this, please stay safe. Do not get burned in the fire.
that is their friend who lives in Canada.
He lives in Ontario region.
So we were talking about how DeSantis has been nonstop with Disney for how long
Yes,
now?
for
Okay.
months.
Since he became governor, basically.
Yeah, but it's been more since he's actually been running now for president. He's out there doing his little campaign and stuff.
Mhm.
It's actually more known now. It's more
Well,
newsworthy now.
now he says he's over Disney.
You know why? I read something today about that because Disney's suing him.
Tell me all about it.
Well, they're suing him for libel, I guess you can say. They were he was like putting them down, like saying stuff that wasn't true about Disney.
Right.
And so they're actually going to sue. They're going to try to sue him now and his campaign.
They're basically gonna make sure that he never becomes a big politician.
Exactly. They're not gonna. Didn't they used to like give him money?
They used to support him in Florida, but then he freaked him over, and now it's like, you will never have any political career ever again.
And you know what? Disney's massive. They have the money to do it.
Whether you agree with Disney or not, I know a lot of people out there that's not a big fan of Disney right now. Still, they have more money than any of them.
Again, it's the rich, and the big companies like Disney who run the country and the political spectrum.
Right.
And we were talking a couple days ago about how they're big employers in more ways than what you would imagine. Like you were saying that they are second in pyrotechnics
Ooh,
only to the United States military.
wow.
And that's just the Disney parks in the U.S.
And I believe that because every night they have a fireworks display. One of the parks have a fireworks display.
All of them.
Every night, yeah.
Japan even goes even bigger.
Well, no, I mean like one of the
Disney,
parks.
the Disney Tokyo or Disney Japan goes even bigger than the United States parks and fireworks.
But every night there's a special, like a different park in
Yeah.
Disney World that has their own fireworks.
Yes.
But every night there's fireworks going off somewhere.
Yeah.
Every night.
Yes. And so to DeSantis, my thought to you is, you know that Disney already knows how to blow shit up. Why would you make them your enemy number one?
They're blowing up his campaign right now.
That's what I'm saying. They're gonna blow up his whole freaking career.
Yeah.
So why? Like, you know how much money they have. You know how powerful they are. They have stuff in other countries. I mean, it's like,
I don't know if you've heard this yet, but Disney's actually working to making a whole residential area for Disney adults to move
That is
into.
a fully immersible Disney living area, where basically every day you live there is a Disney story.
Yeah, it's called Story Living.
I have right
We
here.
gotta move there.
Yeah. it's basically like every person, yeah, like as you say about jobs and everything, every person that's actually again workers will live there and work there while you live
That
there.
doesn't sound mentally healthy.
Again,
That sounds like a step for
please
or
don't.
something.
You've heard of Disney adults, right? Who go big on Disney and everything.
No,
You have never heard of Disney adults, Mom?
no.
We're Disney adults, but we don't go big on Disney.
You, sir.
No.
These are Disney people who will get engaged in the park,
Go every year, go every season.
every month. They have passes.
Well, if we
everything.
lived there, I'm sure we'd be Disney
You
people.
have to have a lot of money to be able to do that as well.
Again, Disney adults.
These are people that also sell off their stuff just to make sure they can go. It's not just the rich.
Again, that's not mentally healthy. Any kind of obsession or, you know, addiction like that is not healthy.
It would get old after a while, I think.
Yeah, I mean, how many times can you see the same shows or go on the same rides or see the same, I mean, I know that sometimes they change things up, but not enough to warrant going many times a year.
Woman that's watched Supernatural like over 10 times already.
I think.
And
I think I'm like 36.
Yeah, you're lowballing.
Okay. Okay.
and I'm talking all 15 seasons, y'all.
They begin settling in California's Greater Palm Springs and it's what locations.
So it's Disneyland.
No, it's a whole basically a whole town.
Yeah, they're building out a whole.
But you said it's in California, though, right?
Yeah, but yeah.
So it's based off Disneyland. 'Cause that's
Be
in
part of
California.
the vibrant, inspiring community catering to the unique desires of those who have learned what's really important. Paying money to be a part of a Disney movie that isn't being filmed.
Give me
Oh,
more of your
gosh.
money.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah.
That's not normal.
I'm a huge Disney guy, but I think that's a little too much there.
Yeah.
Yeah, like not everyone.
Would you want to be Prince Charming every day?
Maybe for a week.
The mouse is getting this army to take on DeSantis.
Maybe for a vacation for a week.
That's
but not
awesome.
forever. Not to live forever.
No. Like there's not actually like Disney princesses and everything that we live there, but like the
Huh.
workers are gonna have like storylines they can do while you live there.
Why would you want to do work and be pretend and like constantly like on, even when you're off work?
I would be smiling big.
I would be so paranoid. Like
There's a camera in the corner.
anytime you hear if a grocery store person walks up to you like, "Do you need any help?" and you got to figure out, is this part of the story? Do I have to say yes to continue?
The mouse is in the corner watching you.
Wouldn't that be something like the Truman Show?
Right,
Without the whole world watching?
but you
But they know about it.
Yeah.
Maybe it's more like WandaVision. You have to keep to the storylines, or else you're gonna get.
you have to get a psychological testing before they approve you living there.
Make sure you're nutty enough to go through with it.
You got to make sure you're not going to be like, are you
What?
prepared?
Like, I
for
mean,
the script?
like I said, a week would be awesome. Just for vacation, living out, not living your own life for a minute. All right, would be fine.
This would be full
But
time.
for forever, no.
I'm not that big into escapism. If I need to escape, again, I'll watch a
We don't
favorite
need-
show. I will read a book. I will, something that doesn't like. I'm not into the alcohol and drugs. I don't want to like.
Do you think they wouldn't allow alcohol at a certain time to make sure it's Disney friendly?
And it has to be rated G.
Like Disney World and Disneyland, so
Hey, it has to be rated
have
G.
be on brand.
What?
It has to be rated G too.
Oh,
Imagine all like you have
Push
to
you out.
you have to do
Has
Coke.
to be at least PG-13.
A store worker- They'll either have to have Pepsi or Coke because they can't do both because they have to have one.
No, they can't have Coke. That's too close to drugs.
Disney Pepsi.
whoever their sponsor is.
And whoever sponsors more can have their supplies, and you can only
You can't get
can you
exterminators.
order Amazon to that neighborhood, or would they be like, sorry, you can't.
Only Disney Plus on these TVs.
It has to be. It has to be given to the Disney mailbox, the mail
Would-
carrier.
would
They need to
Disney
put like a
press
Disney
go to
logo
the
on it before they can
TV?
deliver it to you.
I don't know, but I mean, I'm sure they'd let you have something.
There's like a shady man in the alleyway. Hey man, want some Netflix?
Your candlestick's talking to you.
Hey, you want some Pixar? I got some Pixar right here.
They are Pixar though.
Oh, they don't. They own Pixar.
It's
Wait.
Disney Pixar, yeah.
Dear Lord, what's a brand that's not owned by the mouse?
They're like, okay, do you find yourself an introvert or an extrovert? I'm keeping to myself. Sorry tonight.
I think almost everything is owned by the mouse anymore.
Sony is
What would you
keeping,
do if
Sony
you?
is keeping their hold on Spider-Man now. They're
Well, we
like,
know what
"Bring it."
Adrian's going to do for our conspiracy theory episode.
We have
Oh,
a
shoot. I know what Malo's going to do for our conspiracy theory episode.
we'll have you have a knock on the door, right? You're having a regular day like we're doing now. We got a knock on the door, and it's Mickey Mouse. What would you do?
He's like really friendly, and then he's like, "I heard you had some Spider-Man in here," and then Goofy comes along to beat you up. And then, not in my neighborhood.
Donald Duck with like his staff from like Kingdom Hearts is like, hey, was like,
Here comes Donald Duck.
Anyway, we're not bashing on Disney. We just think it's funny.
it is funny. But again, like there's people who would I don't think it's gonna be a full time thing. I think it's gonna be like vacation homes where you can like rent it out for like a month or two or whatever, like extended living. But like
Still, that
Yeah,
can
not
you
a month.
imagine how much it would cost if you're just like a like if you were not an employee, but if you were a visitor and you paid for that experience.
For like a month. Yeah, that would be
Oh my God.
I'd rather live on a cruise ship for a year.
Right?
Yeah.
Get everything done for
I
you.
don't know. I don't like really like being on water that long.
We know, Lizard,
Well,
you
they can
don't
dock.
like
They're not always on the ocean. They dock.
Apparently there's already are neighborhoods at Walt Disney World. Like they're neighborhoods within the park that, you know, people live.
That's
But
Wow.
it's not like story based or anything, they just live
They just live like us.
yeah, they live in the park. They're like
Wow.
They're
like
closer to job.
they're
But
next
again,
door to
how much would that cost?
Well, if you're work there, probably nothing.
No, these are just
you live next door to Space Mountain, you know, screaming every day.
that's not employees, right? That's just people.
This is people.
Oh, I thought you said employees could live there too.
I guess they could, but this
Oh.
is for people who like, you know, have
Can
money.
afford to live there.
That's not us.
Employees can't afford to live there. You think they wow.
Well, they just take it out of check.
True.
I have
Yeah.
$5 for food this month.
Right? Oh my gosh.
Paid with the joy of knowing you're helping the
And
men.
you gotta go to Scrooge McDuck to get more money.
You know,
No.
they make
Loan shark.
oh my god, like their employees have to live, eat, and just be there. If you want friends outside the mouse, they have to be pre-approved.
You know when your pancakes are in the shape of Mickey Mouse.
You see, you
Smile.
all you see is Mickey Mouse.
More mouse.
And then you see Minnie every once in a while. You know?
You catch a mouse in a mouse trap at
It is
your house,
Mickey.
and Mickey Mouse shows up to kill my son.
Wow. That got dark.
Yes. Yeah. Sorry, Disney.
All right, in our last
didn't
few
finish
minutes
up
here, let's have a quick talk about what's happening in the politics world right now. I'm gonna swing it to you.
Just the debates are coming up this coming Wednesday. I'm not sure when we'll post this, but hopefully we'll post this before the debates come up.
Yes.
So I think we're gonna have an episode of different candidates and what we think about them. You know, as far as
Which debate is it?
It's just a GOP debate. That's all there is. There's no Democrat debate because there's no Democrats running against Biden.
Yeah, that's gonna make it.
There is a new guy out there. I can't even pronounce his name. It's Raza Bogging or something.
Yeah.
I'll have to do my more homework on that guy, but I just seen him last night on CNN, and he's basically saying Trump. He's not saying Trump's innocent, but he's saying that what's going on with Trump and his indictments is weaponizing. We're trying to weaponize the debates because he's leading the polls in the GOP.
Right.
And they're saying that the Democrats are trying to prevent him from becoming a GOP.
Yeah.
You know, well, no, I mean that's not. He did it himself. Trump did it himself.
Well, yes.
The Democrats aren't doing this. Okay, it's actually the states like Georgia now.
Yes.
Okay? And then I think Florida actually might get into the thick of things here too with another indictment coming up. But then you had Washington with.
But here's the thing, okay? You have to
Insurrection.
be convicted of a crime and not be president. You can't be tried for anything while you are president. Okay?
Yeah, they're going to try to.
So there are no trials and no convictions that are going to happen before next year's election. So all of this,
Georgia was done in 6 months.
yeah, we hope. But
Well, yeah, but Trump's
his
lawyers keep
his
appealing.
lawyers can delay and delay and
Yeah,
delay
we're
and
doomed.
delay.
We're doomed. Trump is going to be the GOP.
But I would like to say one thing. His supporters are very, you know, online only. Because I saw again TikTok videos. Someone took a video of like all the Trump supporters that are outside the
Georgia.
Georgia
The courthouse.
the courthouse that was being indicted on. There was like 2 people, 3.
And these
Only
they had all these
one-
tents set up to like keep all his supporters out of the sun and rain.
Yeah, 3.
And there was like three
And
people there.
there's only one guy actively doing it with a sign too. The other two are just kind of there.
But they did have a white supremacist group actually walk down the steps of the courthouse there in Georgia, the Proud Boys, all right? And they were all in masks and khakis, and they had like stormtrooper shin pads and knee pads on, khakis, and they're all, yeah,
Like
and they're carrying.
combat khakis.
Oh no, I think they're just khakis.
They're
They're
not
just
gonna,
khakis,
they're not
Oh.
gonna do anything though.
but they're all masked,
Yeah.
all right? They're all carrying.
What are you doing?
Exactly, they're all carrying a flag. You know, there's like 30 or 40 of them.
But they're not going to do anything because they were also there at the insurrection, and they've also a lot of them got tried for the.
Wouldn't it have been great if the masks came off and they were all black people?
Why? Why would that be great?
Because it's supposed to be the Proud Boys and get it?
I do, or like brown people. Even.
Yeah, and, well, yeah, anybody who would piss them off, that'd be great.
I just think if you're a former immigrant or your family was immigrants here, okay, and you're a GOPer, I just don't understand why you would be a GOPer. I just don't, because GOP is against everything from immigrants, whether you're here legally or not. They
Yep.
still don't like them.
Yep.
You know, so if you're an immigrant and your parents came here, whether it's legally or not, and you're a GOPer, Ted Cruz, Marco Rubio, the guy that can't pronounce his last name, if you're one of them, shame on you because you're just.
They're against anybody of color. They're
Exactly.
against women. They're against elderly, the
Yep.
disabled, the low income.
DeSantis though, DeSantis said he wants all like the Latinos and Hispanics to get out of Florida, and they did, and now they're not getting anything done.
Well, DeSantis is a Disney supervillain. So,
All
I mean,
immigrants.
But again, like the whole
Yes.
point about being able against immigrants, they are doing the jobs that actually get good country working. They are doing,
All the crap that all the white people are too good or too lazy to do.
yep.
they basically left Florida and was like, okay, do our
Yeah,
job.
he busted them, I think, to New York. I think he busted some of them to New York City, I think it was.
The
California.
rest of them left though.
Yeah.
The rest of them just left, and they're literally truck drivers. You know, a lot of our community is also Hispanic, Latino, other races than white, and they are backing up their brothers or sisters and those trucks, and a lot of them have refused to deliver to Florida.
And still, I don't know. And then if you support the saying, that's shame on you too. I just don't.
Yeah.
I don't get it. I don't get people's thinking. I really don't.
I don't either.
But we are going to have an episode about the GOP trash debate
We do want to add something.
before and after.
Okay.
Did you hear that Republicans are mad because apparently Jesus Christ is woke? He supports people who don't have much money. He trashes the corrupt politicians. He believes everyone should be equal.
They're going to be really mad when we find out he's not white.
Right?
Not to mention he hung out with whores and lepers.
Yep.
Yes.
Oh my god.
Didn't he make a whip once outside of a temple and then he went inside and beat the shit out of people?
The corrupt people who are taking money and being
And
greedy.
see, when they say, what would Jesus do? This is what we think of as Jesus.
And then someone finally read the Bible in the Republican Party, like, oh my god, they're right.
We should be Jewish because we only believe in the Old Testament.
Jewish people don't want them either.
I'm,
The Jewish people say there's more than two genders,
You
and
don't-
abortion is valid for women.
You don't think there's some Jewish GOPers out there?
But no,
Probably is. There's probably idiots of all.
again, look, there's synagogues across the United States after abortion was considered, not a human right, who said, according to our religion, though, it is. So frick you.
that's right. Okay, guys, that was a interesting
I
episode.
thought it was pretty good.
Yes.
Nice.
Yeah.
So we will be back again soon. Hang in there with us. Y'all be safe.
By the way, our Canadian friend is all right. He didn't message me back. He's like, I'm staying away from fire.
Excellent. That is good news.
Yeah, that's good news.
Good job, Deadland.
Okay, everybody be safe.
No.
Stay healthy.
Well, spade and neuter your pets.
Spay new to your pets and
Use your turn signal.
bye.